Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. Boog Nice coming at you with the Mezco Toys 112 Collective Conan the Conqueror action figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini Mayfield, hype beast we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about.
Quick look at each side of the box, and there's a look at the back. So I really wanted to take a quick look at this figure with the booster set, which I will. I just opened him last night on the podcast and realized that both of my biceps were kind of fused, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to apply some heat and get those loosened up and quickly go over all of the things that he's packed in with, and then hopefully tack on all of the Barbarian booster kit accessories and look at those things as part of this overview. Not really a review, but yeah, you're looking at Mezco's 2023 release of Conan the Conqueror here. I want to say in 2021, that first Conan figure, Conan the Barbarian, was my figure of the year for 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So if everything goes well in terms of smoothing out this issue with the biceps, I'm sure he could be a contender for one of my top figures of 2023, based on how much I like the original version. As you can see out of the package, he pretty much comes fully clothed. The Barbarian version was shirtless out of the package. Looks like the skin tone here may be just a tad bit darker. I'm not 100% sure on that. Obviously, I'll get the original out here for comparison. But yeah, very good looking figure. The textures and everything here on his shirt and loincloth resemble the textures that you may find if you were out living in the wilderness and had to skin some type of furred creature to make clothing. In that sense, it looks very authentic, even with the stitching up here and here on the loincloth to make it look like, you know, it was sewn together. This I like a lot. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and get this top, the shirt off, so I can figure out what's going on with these biceps. Be back with you shortly. For the record though, the belt can come off, it detaches on the side, and this looks like it's all one piece, so I may have to pop the head off and pull this over his head. The loincloth is actually separate, has some elasticity around the waist, so I'm gonna pull that down and then I guess pull the shirt up. The shirt was tucked in, so there's that. Man, I worked on this guy for like 10-15 minutes. Pause. Now you guys tell me in the comments below, is this supposed to rotate independently of the bicep? I'm sorry, of the elbow, because that rotates like that, and then the bicep rotates as well without the elbow moving. So I assume it's the same thing over here. This is rotating without an issue, but I cannot turn this bicep, and I'm afraid that it will just snap. Now I tried hot water. My faucet, both of my faucets in the bathroom and the kitchen get pretty damn hot, and then I also broke out the blow dryer, and this thing will not move. So damn near 2 weeks passed since the last time I recorded any of this review, but since then we had another episode of the podcast. Fabio advised that I should just pull the entire arm off here at the peg rather than trying to heat it up and twist it. So that's what I did, and now I'm gonna try to put it back and hopefully it'll work. All right, success. So the bicep is rotating, the elbow's rotating, no issue on either side now. So I can get my guy dressed again and back again. Another week has passed. But I got my guy fully dressed here, well, dressed back to his base level. So let's start going over what's packed in with this offering. So in terms of hands, he has 2 fists out of the package, typical Mezco wrist pegs, 2 open hands with the fingers slightly spread, they're kind of cupped, and 2 more that are opened a bit with the finger spread. These are cupped a bit more as all of the fingers and the thumbs are sort of bent. And then his final set is fully cupped. These are the hands that he would utilize to hold all of his weapons, so hold tight on these. I'm gonna keep these on, pop the head off, typical Mezco neck peg, but I popped the head off so I could try a couple of his jewelry accessories. So he's got this necklace which has 2 rows of animal teeth, or what looks like animal teeth here. This one's pretty cool. And then he also has this version where the loop, I guess, is a little shorter, so it's closer to his collarbone. Couple of teeth and some stones and different trinkets. I'm not sure what all of that stuff is supposed to be, but pretty cool as well. There's a closer look at the belt that came attached to him out of the package, because he does have a swappable or an additional belt. And I suppose this is his battle ready belt. You can see the little skull insignia there on the front, and on the back there's a couple of rings here because you can hook his weapons, or a couple weapons here on the back. And just like the previous version, you have these small sort of double hooked accessories here where one side would hook to the ring on the belt and then you would hook the weapon to the other side. So again, there's two here. I think in the original version there was only one. And then he's got a short dagger here as well as a sheath for that dagger, which according to the instructions is supposed to slide up his leg and be a thigh holster. Not sure what side it's supposed to go on. I guess you could pick and choose. And then he's packed in with a couple of swords, long swords. This one here that is curved at the end. And then there's this one that comes with the sheath. You can see the little chains hanging off the end of the sheath because obviously this is the one that can be sheathed and then attached to the rings on the back. And don't start me to line, but I believe this goes this way. According to the directions, they had the sheath in this direction. So I suppose you could play with the chains and put the side on our right, you know, chain it up closer. But to me, this looks fine. And then the hits don't stop there. He's also packed in with an axe. Listen, if I pay $100 for a figure, I want him to be accessorized to the T. As always, soft pliable hands with the Mezco figures, so no problem getting them to hold the weapons. I will say that his grip on the sword that's sheathed here on his back wasn't as tight as any of these other weapons though. And you can't have a warrior with a sword and a sheath and no shield, so he's also packed in with a shield here. And I love the authenticity of this where he's actually holding on to the shield and the strap is around his forearm too. Kind of a pain in the ass to get that attached properly, but there it is. And obviously you can mix and match as you see fit, so that includes his weapons and his actual fit, you know, his clothing, which there is quite a bit more of. But before we get into that, he does have a couple of interchangeable head sculpts. He's still got a couple of more weapons as well, but I figured I'd get this one on with the helmet, being as though he is armed up here with all of his weapons. So a sort of angry, open mouth, screaming version. This looks amazing. It looks very good. No complaints here from me. And then he also has this additional head sculpt without the helmet, but the hair is windswept here, which looks very good. Take notes, Hasbro. You can't just give us a windswept head without a relaxed, neutral head sculpt as well. Heads, hands, make the figures. If you want a wide range of displaying options, then you need the heads and hands to make that happen. But yeah, we're not done. A couple of more accessories here. He's also packed in with a chain mace, two actually. So this one here where it's kind of just free flowing, free hanging, but man, they went the extra mile and also gave us this version here, which is technically articulated. I mean, I don't know if you want to call this bendy wire, bendy chain, but you can definitely manipulate this any way you see fit. This is dope. This I like a lot. Yeah, this is fire. So that concludes all of the weapons that he's packed in with. He's still got a couple of extra articles of clothing that we can try on here. And I didn't even get to the booster kit yet, but let's keep moving. So in terms of clothing, he also has some kind of cold weather gear with this interchangeable loincloth here. This one is kind of furry. I hope I have it positioned properly. He also has these fur cuffs. You should pop the hands off and slide these onto the forearms and then pop the hands back on. And then to kind of complete the cold weather gear, you have this cloak with the furred collar. So this is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm interested to see how he looks up on a horse with all of the gear. And yeah, you know, I'm kind of out of frame, but you get the idea. I'll definitely get some legit displays going at some point. And then finally, he does have this black cloak that does have bendy wire around the outer rim of the hood. And in the front of the jacket here, as you can see, or the cloak, it does have a little clasp there. You have to be very careful with that. So you can rock it either way. Clearly, you have a lot of options with this guy. So that concludes everything that's packed in. Aside from the stand, all Mezco figures come with a stand. That concludes everything that's packed in with the regular release of Conan the Conqueror here. Let's peek into the Barbarian booster kit and see what options we have there. But real quick, I think I'll need the original release in order to swap some things on from the Barbarian booster kit. So they're the two side by side. The original release on the right and a new Conan the Conqueror there on the left. I guess I was wrong about the skin tones. I don't know, but there are some slight deco differences between the two. Obviously, the boots are different, the loincloth, the belts, some of the jewelry. I do think the skin tones are slightly different between the two as well, but two phenomenal looking figures nonetheless. There's a look at the Barbarian booster kit in the box. Let's bust this open. So two clamshells here. That includes the heads, the weapons, the blood effects, and some clothing options. So heads, you get this particular head, long hair, beard, war paint over the right eye. So that's one option for an enemy or friend. It's your display. Then there's also this head sculpt, bald head, mustache, more war paint. And this looks cool too. Weapons, dagger, some type of mace here that has like 4-pronged lion head sculpted pieces, and then there's this other sort of spiked club. Looks like it's supposed to be wood with some sort of metal spikes or something in there. There's this sword, golden handle, and then there's this long axe. There's a bag with some different belt and sheath options here. I'll get into that as I get into a display at some point. There's also this jacket, which is really nice, nicely tailored. It's cool. It has a Velcro strap, but it's a little snug here, and I don't want to pull it too tight right now. Maybe I should take this belt and stuff off. Still want to give you an idea how that might look and how a potential enemy may look and how different he can look from Conan. There's also this long sort of furry cloak here with the strap across the front. I mean, obviously you could use this for Conan too if you want it, but this is nice. It sits nice. It's a nice material. So these blood effects can actually be attached to the weapons in a couple of different ways, or to a head here like you see. I mean, you got a lot of options here with just these two, but it's a lot of playability here between the first release and the Conan the Conqueror and the booster set, and maybe even utilizing some other Mezco bodies that are easy to unclothe or aren't fully clothed out of the package, and you could swap some parts and stuff on here. I'm eager to see what I can do here in terms of kit bashes for more barbarians and more enemies for Conan. Yeah, I don't know about the physics of this, but it is what it is. So I'm actually cut this short, and then I'm going to do a full display video from start to finish as far as setup, my thought process, details, all of that stuff. That'll be the part 2 to kind of wrap this up. I did just now get my Mezco Superman in, so I'm eager to mess around with that. I may do a full-on review for him as well. I spoke to Fabio earlier. He said that his 89 Keaton Batman may actually arrive tomorrow. I spoke to a few people that said they got shipping notifications for that. Stay tuned for more from me. Thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell down there. And until next time, peace.
I'm in the game, I'm grinding, I got to play 24 hours in a day, 7 days out the week, I never sleep. I'm on my grizzly bear, 52 weeks out the year, yeah.